New Jersey is a peninsula, which means that it is surrounded by water on almost all sides. It is home to ponds, lakes, streams, and as you probably already knew, beaches. Over the years, New Jersey has become infamous because of its pollution. Many organizations, however, have been fighting to clean up their state. I had a chance to meet with a few of the people who have taken it upon themselves to better their home.
Hi, my name is Isaac Sander, and I'm the education coordinator for the Hudson River Sleep Clear Water. We're an organization that does environmental education and outreach throughout the Hudson River Valley and the watershed, and we work for conservation and mostly through education and letting people know kind of about their river and about their community. We're working with school groups and community organizations and the general public.
My name is Mark Gusson, and I'm the director of the Closter Nature Center.
Tell us a little about what you do here.
As the director of the Nature Center, I take care of the building and the animals that are here. As the naturalist and educator, I have science programs that I do for the local schools. We have an after-school science enrichment program here and a summer camp.
I'm Captain Hugh Carolla. I'm the program director at Hackensack Riverkeeper. I've had this job, since January of 2001. So I'm in my 13th year of doing this work, and I love it greatly. And this is Captain Bill Sheen, who just arrived in his very own office.
Started in 1969, and it started by a group of people kind of spearheaded by Pete Seeger, the folk singer from the Hudson Valley, a lot of people know about. And they decided they would build a Hudson River sloop, which is a style of boat that wasn't really well known in the 1960s. It was more popular in the 16, 17, and 1800s. And they decided to build a big boat to kind of take people out on and show them about some of the pollution issues and some of the animal issues, and just kind of letting people reclaim their area by bringing them out on the Hudson River and seeing it from a new perspective.
In the 1960s, the people of the town of Closter decided to put this land aside and turn it into something that could be passed on to our grandchildren. The Closter Nature Center, since then, has increased its educational programs. When I started here 14 years ago, I increased the programs even more, and since then it's been a constant push to get out to the schools and get kids outside.
But it started in the late 60s. The Meadowland Commission was created, the Clean Water Act came along, and the combination of laws and the enforcement thereof really helped change it.
Captain Bill Sheen started the organization back in 1997, so we are getting close to our 20th anniversary. Our organization is a member of the Waterkeeper Alliance, and that's an international grouping of clean water advocates that is, I believe, around 240 members strong all around the world.
The health of the Hudson River is really important for a number of reasons. One of which is a lot of people in New York actually get their drinking water right from the Hudson. Something a lot of people don't really know. Cities like Poughkeepsie actually drink their water from the Hudson. A lot of other cities up and down the Hudson. They're actually planning a big desalination plant pretty south in the Haverstraw Bay area, which is another place where they'll get water and actually sell it around the country. So that's kind of a big issue.
A lot of us drink it, first of all. Everybody who pays United Water for their water is drinking from the upper Hackensack watershed. So by the upper watershed, we're talking about where the headwaters are in Rockland County, New York, in the town of New City. So from there where the river begins, all the way down to the Oradell Reservoir, the Oradell Dam, okay, that is upper watershed, and all of that, approximately one half of the watershed's region, the watershed's area, that's all fresh water, and that is all drinkable, and a lot of us depend on that.
And also the health of your environment and your watershed is really important to any community. So you can use the water, you can swim in it, you can, go fishing in it, which is something a lot of people do in the Hudson River all over the place. So I think it's important for a lot of those reasons. But mostly, it's just a nice resource to have for kinds of things.
The land of the Closter Nature Center is mostly forested wetland, which means that it is very wet and swampy. It supports a unique fauna and flora. It is also a great educational resource because what we get to do is teach kids about our water. The importance of the Nature Center and the ponds and streams here to our community is more than just for education, but also just to be able to control flooding and have the rain have somewhere to go.
Now, south of the Oradell Reservoir, we're talking about water that's tidal, water that's brackish, salty, and very different. And that's an increasingly important recreational resource for fishing, for waterfowling, for bird watching, for paddling and boating, not yet swimming, but it is the closest accessible recreational water to a lot of people in Bergen and Hudson counties.
For a lot of reasons for both humans and animals. For humans, one of the important things is this is a great natural area right on Manhattan's doorstep. So we're in this incredible urban area. We're a huge green space, and that gives humans a place to appreciate nature, get some breathing room, and just get away from the madding crowd. When you're around here, you see highways, you see planes, you see trains. Everything is going by, and this is the one nice restful place nearby. As for birds and other critters, we are on the Atlantic Flyway, so this is a great place for birds to stop as they migrate, and it's also a great destination for birds.
So no matter where you are in the world, you could be in the Amazon or the Sahara or any place in between. Wherever you are, you're in a watershed because the rain is going to rain at some time, and the land is going to shed it in a particular direction.
One animal that's currently recovering is the Atlantic sturgeon, which used to be a really popular fish in the Hudson River. There used to be tons and tons and tons in the 1700s and before that. They're actually like a kind of almost like a dinosaur fish. Very cool fish if you ever get a chance to look into them. But they started dying out for a long time because of fishing and because of pollution and issues like that. But then because of a lot of the conservation efforts since the 1960s, they've been rebounding. They are on the endangered species list still, but that population is really increasing by all reports that have been happening in the past few years or so.
I think that there are some examples of some animals that are doing slightly better. We still have a long way to go in terms of really improving habitat. There's a lot of examples of some animals that are doing better, like deer. 30 years ago, if you saw a deer around here, it was a big thing. Now, obviously, we have a deer issue. The population of deer has gotten so high that they are doing permanent damage to the forest. So there's a lot of examples of some things that are doing better, but with that comes the fact that there's always winners and losers. So the deer population without predators has gotten to the point where they are diminishing the diversity of a lot of our habitats.
You are on the edge of a landfill right now. DeCourt Park was built on the edge of a landfill, and it was built here to stop the Bergen County Utilities Authority from filling in. If you want to pan over there, all the way to the Jersey Turnpike, they wanted to make this a landfill. And so you can imagine how polluted it was. It would be even more polluted. It was so polluted that something as hardy as a barnacle could not live in the Hackensack River. A lot of the birds you see now did not exist. You would not have seen a bald eagle, a peregrine falcon. You talked about seeing an osprey on the way in. You would not have seen ospreys. You wouldn't see egrets flying overhead, or any bird that eats fish. The fish life was really dead in this river, and all the birds that ate fish also were not around here anymore.
Oh, it's getting better, and the benchmarks to show how much better it's getting is the return of wildlife to the river. When I was a small boy, there were no fish in the river to speak of except for some killifish and maybe an eel or two or something like that. And now we've got all kinds of fish in the lower river. And the upper part of the river, where the reservoirs are, has all kinds of fish in it. Different, but like bass and
Yellow perch and block crappies.
And gizzard shad and crappie, yeah, a lot of crappie. And then down below the dam we have striped bass, and the only bluefish come in during the summertime, and we've got some baby flounder that come up in all of the surveys that get done. They come up from the bay, basically they're just growing up and they head out to the ocean in the fall. So the diversity of the fish has gone from about 5 or 6 species up to today we've got in excess of 70 species of fish that use the water regularly. So it's definitely, if things weren't getting better, those critters just would not be here.
It took a huge effort on many fronts. The Clean Water Act finally forced towns to stop dumping their sewage into the Hackensack River. I mean, the Hackensack River was an open sewer for a very long time. So the Clean Water Act stopped that. It prevented chemical companies and other companies from dumping toxic substances in the river, which they used to do. And we also cleaned up all the landfills. And the landfills in the old days, anything went. You could dump anything in there, including toxic chemicals, mercury, you name it. It was really nasty stuff. And it was, you know, the river is totally polluted. You see weird colors in it. It's not pretty.
How long did it take?
To clean it up, I think it's still going on, and it's an endless fight. So it's an ongoing thing. We still have problems, and it just takes time.
We do all kinds of educational programming. Our main thing that we do is our floating classroom 3-hour educational sale. And that's where we take kids of all ages from most of our audiences, like 4th grade through 12th grade. So a pretty wide range. And we take them out on the Hudson, learn about history, ecology, Hudson River life, navigation, and they lift up our mainsail and we go out sailing with them and we sing some songs to them. And we really just teach them about kind of why the Hudson River is important to them and their community, and we get them out on the water, which is something that a lot of kids, even if they live maybe a mile away from the Hudson, have never even been out on a boat over it. They've only seen it from the bridge or from maybe the streets. So it's a really powerful experience for kids, and we take out about maybe 10,000 kids a year in that program, so it's a pretty big program.
The programs that we have here at the Nature Center are mostly for pre-K kids on up to 8th grade. We have classes that we bring to schools. We also offer opportunities for kids to come here on school trips. Basically what we do is we took the state science curriculum and we took a look at anything that had to do with nature, anything that we could do that the kids had to learn, but that we could do it outside or get them to the Nature Center. We designed a program. So our curriculum is all based on the state science curriculum, and it's all stuff that the kids have to learn, but it's a way to get them outside and get them excited about the natural world.
Well, we have a number of different programs that we can do. The easiest one, we can come to school and do a presentation. We can talk about the flora and fauna, the wildlife, and the plants that reside within the watershed region. Can give a virtual tour, in fact, of the river. But the most fun way to learn is to come out on the water with us. And both Captain Bill and myself are U.S. Coast Guard licensed captains. So we spend a good chunk of our season from May through October doing programs for upwards between 3,000 and 4,000 people a year. Approximately 1/3 of them are school students and scouts. We do programs on the water called eco cruises, where we take people out, depending on the age, between 1.5 and 2.5 hours in the marshes of the Meadowlands, up to Hackensack. We begin basically in the town of Secaucus, at a wonderful little park called Laurel Hill County Park. We either go in the marshes, we can go upriver to Hackensack, down to Staten Island even. So we have a lot of opportunity to teach about and show the history, the natural history, the human history of the region, to get folks a chance to really see what is out there.
We do public sales during the summer and the spring and the fall, which happen about once or twice a week during the summer and the fall. Those are really great programs where the general public can come out, see the Hudson River, kind of do some of the educational programming we might offer at school, and just kind of enjoy the view. It's just such a beautiful area these days, so it's really great for them to get out like that. We also offer open boat potlucks here at the barn where we are now, where we have the public come down and bring a dish and just kind of have a nice community event with some songs, maybe a little bit of a lecture about some historical topic or some environmental topic, and just kind of general outreach. So those are two really good ways, as well as our Great Hudson River Revival, which is a music festival we do every summer, which is a whole other event in of itself. I can do a whole interview on that.
We do have adult programs here at the Nature Center. We try, and every couple months, we try and offer one. Sometimes they're just a one-shot lecture. Sometimes the programs that we have here at the Nature Center are in 2 or 3 parts. In the fall, I usually do one about mushrooms. We also have a couple programs that we have. We have lecturers that come anywhere from Rutgers, from Lamont Doherty, from Columbia University. We have lecturers that come that do programs for geared towards adults.
Got lots of opportunities to get out and enjoy, meet people, and have a lot of fun and do some good stuff for the environment.
He's talking about our programs. We
Oh, yeah.
also participate in no less than a few
Jeez.
dozen programs throughout the year that are sponsored by companies, that are sponsored by other organizations. We do the Party for the Planet over at the Bergen County Zoo. He goes and exhibits there. We do the Richfield Park Earth Day celebration, which is in a park right on the river down in Richfield Park. We've done in the past. We had our Festival of Birding, which we did for several years. The funding kind of dried up for that, so that's why we don't do it anymore. But that was a very successful event when we were doing it, along with the Audubon Society as our partners there. So we actually brought in another nonprofit organization to help with the work and also to share in the revenues. But we also do, this time of year, we go out and we do a lot of exhibitions. Tomorrow he's going to be exhibiting at the Angie Conference, and I'm going to be going into the New York Boat Show. And we're going to be holding forth at the Boat Show and at the Angie Conference for the next 5 days, Next month, we've got the paddle sport event, which is a statewide gathering of paddle enthusiasts. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, so there's always, throughout the course of the year,
There's always plenty of stuff going on, and we try and advertise everything we're doing as much as we can, either through our newsletter, our website, our email list. We send out alerts to people, come and see us at the boat show, or come and see us at the sportsman show, that kind of thing.
I think they should just be aware of what you're putting on your lawns. And the big concern these days, one of the biggest sources of pollution is fertilizers. People over-fertilize their lawn, and it causes all kinds of problems. They also use pesticides, which kill not just pests, but all kinds of other critters that are very valuable, like butterflies and moths. So I would just be careful. Anything that ends in ICIDE, like pesticide, herbicide, that's basically a poison, and think twice before you use it.
They don't even know for sure how much there is, but there are several hundreds of thousands of tons of plastic in our ocean. And the only good part about this is that all of us can help to solve this problem. And the way we can do that is to cut down on our usage of plastic. If there's too much plastic packaging, don't buy it. We don't need plastic bags. Nobody needs a plastic bag. We can all use reusable. Get yourself a stash, stick it into your car, make sure it's there. Don't take the bags. Another thing we can do is cut down drastically on our use of plastic bottles, particularly bottled water. We don't need it. It was something fabricated by the bottled water industry, and they made us all afraid of our own water supply. We have to cut down on plastic, and we can do it. We can be the people to solve this problem.
Well, one thing that we've been thinking about a lot is microplastics at the Hudson River Sloop Clearwater. I mean, obviously there's, like recycle, like try and save water in all kinds of ways. But one thing that people might not think about as much are the use of microplastics in shampoos and conditioners and body wash and that kind of stuff. And really any kind of plastic that you use you can be cautious about. But we actually have a little microplastic trawler that we've been doing some research with some scientists with, where we actually throw it over the side of the boat and let it kind of like coast on top of the water for like 20 minutes, and then we pull it up, and you'd be amazed to see how many of those little beads that you could find in like conditioner and all kinds of stuff, or from like construction waste or things like that, but that actually are in the water can really affect the plankton life, or like the fish life. It kind of sinks down and floats up and hangs out in most of the water column. So that's a huge issue, is to maybe cut those out of your daily consumption, and that's a really easy one too.
There's a lot of things that people can do to help improve our environment. Unfortunately, right now, a lot of the things that we should be doing, we're not doing. When I say we, I don't mean you as an individual, I mean we as a society. We are definitely seeing lots of strides being made in lots of arenas. In terms of industry, there's lots of examples of where we are now doing things that used to cause tons and tons of water and air pollution that are now pretty inert. We are definitely seeing lots of pushes in the Northwest, where people no longer use plastic bags. Plastic water bottles are almost a thing of the past. We are definitely seeing lots of strides being made. I think the most important thing is for people to stay aware and for people to push for legislation every time there's a chance to push for legislation that can help us. Unfortunately, it seems as though when we do make moves to help the environment, it seems like it costs us money. But costing us our air and costing us our water is a much bigger expense than money. As we start to see a lot of the environmental moves start to really pay off and be effective, we're going to start to see them become more financially feasible. So what I think the most important thing is for people to stay excited and for people to try and get themselves outside and stay aware of what's going on and push for any legislation they can to help the environment.
To me, it's very important that people get involved, and they get involved from a young age. And I did it with my kids, and I always tell all the parents do the same. Don't be afraid to let kids get their hands dirty. Whenever I talk to a group of senior citizens, before I say goodbye to them, I say, now listen to me. I said, you know how to put a worm on the hook. You know how to look for salamanders under a rock. And you know darn well you can get your grandkids dirty from head to toe, bring them home, kiss them goodbye, say, bye honey, gotta go. And they laugh. Yeah. I said, so your job to get those grandkids dirty so that they know there's more than just technology, there's more than just, TV. That stuff is all fun. Exactly. Those things are all fun, nothing wrong with them. But, to me, the more we can keep the connection between us and nature, the stronger our advocacy will be able to be, because people will be educated, people will be experienced and knowledgeable and not afraid of everything that flies or crawls or whatever outside. So that to me is important. That's what education is so important to me, because that's the first step in creating advocates for the environment, for clean water, and for wildlife.
I think a really good way is to check out our website. We have a really well curated website with pretty easy to follow links and different kind of documents, which will give you all kinds of information. www.clearwater.org. It's a really good website. It's well put together. You can learn more about our educational programs, that kind of stuff, or you can just call us at the office at 845-265-8080. We'd love to talk to anybody. And we have people who answer phones the whole day.
So the Closter Nature Center is made up of myself and a board of trustees, and then members. Right now we have about 400 members. Becoming a member of the Nature Center helps to support us financially, but also it keeps the network together, so people can be involved and people can be aware of the programs that we offer and some of the activities that we have. We have volunteer days where we do grounds maintenance. I have kids who come and volunteer to help out with the summer program and the after-school classes. We have a group of seniors, high school seniors, who come in the springtime that really help us out with the grounds and maintenance. Sometimes when we have a big project like the dredging in the pond, I had 20 volunteers working for weeks to help them take care of the animals, helping to keep everything alive while we were waiting for the pond to fill back in. We always have something for people. Right now we are working on a big push to control some of the invasive species here at the Nature Center. There's a lot of plants that have really moved in and taken over and are diminishing the diversity of the plant life, and I look forward to getting some pretty large volunteer forces together to combat some of these invasive species.
One of the things the Meadowlands Commission has done to clean these things up, we had hundreds of acres of orphaned landfills, and landfills used to leak all these horrible substances into the marsh and into the river. So for the last 40 years we've been cleaning up the landfills and made enforcement groups, but we have the federal government, local governments help out, and we also have all the great volunteer organizations that help out as well.
We had about 18 or 20 programs at the time. Now we have over 200 programs, closer to 220 I think, and we're on 6 continents. We're in 29 different countries around the world that people have adopted the Waterkeeper model to go out and put an end to pollution, give the rivers back to the people that they truly belong to, which are the general population of the countries and the towns and the cities and the watersheds around the world. And, that in and of itself is one of the most fulfilling parts of my life, is the fact that, we knew we were onto a good thing back in the 90s. We knew when we started Waterkeeper Alliance that this was something that should catch fire.
Thank you.
No, thanks for the interview. It's been real fun.
Oh, thank you.
You know, just being part of that is really satisfying. You know?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Would you like to add anything?
You like that, Ms. Wonderwhite?
I thought that was very well said, yes.
I just made it up. I mean, it's true, but I just made it up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, let's start.
Keep going, keep going. It's true.
No, don't put it on it.
Okay.
No, I'm going to add something else. Okay, go. So you asked a question there.
Would you like to add anything else?
I would. I'm very thankful to have people like you, Francesca, that get involved. I'm definitely glad to see someone go from, a small, active young kid with the help of their parents and their education system to become such an outstanding young individual. I really look forward to having more and more kids grow up, go through the programs here, go off to college, and possibly come back, not just to our community, but to the world's community, and to make the world a better place.
Let your troubles fall behind you, let it